Recently, the Smash Bros. Community aren't too happy with the latest character reveal for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Byleth, if that's how you pronounce it, from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Main complaint is, now another Fire Emblem character? Can't we have someone else? Maybe Goku from Dragon Ball? Okay, that last one was made up, but there have been long calls to have Goku be featured in Smash Bros., and the answer has always been no. Masahiro Sakurai, the man behind the Super Smash Bros. Games, has long publicly stated that non-video game characters will not appear in Smash Bros. There's quite a hot debate on the subject, and YouTuber Digibro made a video on his arguments on why non-video game characters should appear in Smash Bros., in particular Goku. Now, I know I'm not supposed to do these kinds of videos anymore, but something in me wants to respond to this issue and give my take on the matter. Full disclosure, I've only played the very first Smash Bros. Game and have not played every other entry since, mainly because I never bothered getting another Nintendo console as I've been a long-time Sony fanboy. Nevertheless, I do feel that there is some sound explanation on the restriction of characters Sakurai has placed. When Sakurai said non-video game characters can't be in Smash Bros., he means that for a character to be part of the game, that character must, number one, made their very first appearance in a video game and not any other medium. And number two, that character made quite an impact on the video game industry and or the community. So characters like Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, Samuel Bellman from Castlevania, and Solid Snake from Metal Gear all fit those criteria. But definitely not Goku of Dragon Ball. Regardless of whatever argument made for Goku to be in Smash Bros., the fact remains that Dragon Ball came first as a manga series before the anime, and only then the Dragon Ball video games came to be. So by Sakurai's standards, Goku is disqualified. But what about Dragon Quest, some would ask? Because for some reason, some people think Dragon Quest is related to Dragon Ball because of Akira Toriyama being in both works. I know, weird. Well, Dragon Quest has always been a video game franchise from the start. There's only been two anime series of Dragon Quest as far as I know, and that's it. What about Joker from the Persona games, you ask? Persona is, of course, a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei games, which is in itself spun off from the novel Digital Devil story. Well, the answer is right there. The first Megami Tensei game for the Famicom was the only entry that was loosely adapted from the novel. But since the second game onwards, it no longer had any ties to the book and is its own entity. Imagine if Final Fantasy was part of Dungeons and Dragons, then went off and did its own thing that it no longer has anything to do with D&D at all. In addition, Persona 5 received a ton of critical and commercial acclaim that it is itself its own media franchise. It had a manga, an anime, some spin-off games, guest appearances in other games, and even a stage play for crying out loud. I tell you, Persona 5 is big, and that's why Joker fits all of Sakurai's criteria. Plus the fact that Sakurai is a huge Persona fan. Another argument Digibro made is that if Joker is allowed, why not other video game exclusive characters from established franchises like the ones featured in Star Wars or Lego? Well, the problem comes that these characters do not fit the second criteria for being included in Smash Bros., which is they must have an impact on the video game industry and the community. Again, just look at Persona 5's legacy. Let's take Android 21 from Dragon Ball Fighters. She's exclusive only to that game for sure. But what impact did she and or the game made in the industry and the community the way Metal Gear and Castlevania did? I doubt Dragon Ball Fighters did any. And if Android 21 won't make the cut, what makes anyone think the other video game exclusive characters from franchises like Star Wars and Lego would? And speaking of Star Wars and Lego, along with the likes of Harry Potter, James Bond, and Marvel, notice that these are brand names owned by mega corporations in the West. And if we look at the entire roster of the Smash Bros. Franchise, notice that every character included comes from games created by Japanese developers. The only exception is Banjo-Kazooie, which was developed by Rare, a British video game developer. But that is because Rare was a subsidiary of Nintendo at the time Banjo-Kazooie was made before they were later bought by Microsoft. So technically, Banjo and Kazooie are Nintendo characters? Even if by some miracle Sakurai would bend the rules a bit with his criteria, he and possibly even Nintendo themselves have no interest in negotiating with Hollywood and the like because it's just troublesome to get whatever character they, Hollywood, own to get into Smash Bros. Let's take Sora of Kingdom Hearts for example. Yes, he's an original game character developed by Square Enix, and you could argue he fits the criteria somewhat. But today he's Disney property, and because it's Disney, do you honestly think the House of Mouse will easily give a thumbs up for Sora to be in Smash Bros? And my friends, for that reason as well, Goku or other anime characters can't be in Smash Bros. It won't matter even if Toriyama gives the okay, as the legal owners of the Dragon Ball franchise are Shueisha and Toei, and those two are like the Disneys of Japan, so to speak. If that were possible, then we would have seen other popular anime characters in Smash Bros. In the first place, from Saint Seiya to Naruto to Luffy, etc. Oh, wait, they are all owned by Shueisha and they all appear in the Jump games. So that gives you an idea on Shueisha's mindset when it comes to crossovers. Getting characters from games by Western developers may be a more plausible way to bring them into Smash Bros. Minecraft Steve is definitely the one example given the huge impact Minecraft is. It's all just a matter of Sakurai and Nintendo and Microsoft getting together and make it happen. I do know that's going to be the case in the future though. In conclusion, Goku, Spider-Man, Batman, James Bond, Harry Potter, Geralt of Rivia, and everyone else like them are not likely, if ever, going to appear in Smash Bros. Because not only do they not meet Sakurai's criteria, but it's going to be such a headache for Nintendo to bring them in from a business perspective. Shueisha and Toei would be charging an incredibly large fee for Goku to be in Smash Bros., and Nintendo would have to make some extreme measures to get that spent money back in profit. No way Goku would be worth $5.99 to download, for sure. I dare say it may even cost over $100 just to make up to bring him to the game. That kind of price for one character in this day and age is very much frowned upon. Would you be willing to spend that much just to get Goku? I certainly won't.